Especially when they ask you if you want to do your contribuinte as well in Portuguese.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Bon dia, alegria. The Munsons here with a Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. How are you with it, Mrs. M?
I'm well, but my head looks like twice as big as yours.
Which is not usually
This actually not true.
Yeah, this is it's almost like looking in one of those wing mirrors. The objects in the mirror may seem further away or whatever it says in the mirror. Thank you for being here. You're very fragrant this morning.
Sorry.
It's okay. Good to have you here for this Feelgood Friday free for all. I mean, Feelgood Friday. It's always Feelgood Friday many days of the week, I would like to think, on Good Morning Portugal.
Yes.
And especially so when it comes to Friday, and we can officially recognize that with the tricks we play as human beings, giving the days of the week names and then creating a weekend and then creating all that drama about, oh, it's the weekend. And then, oh, no, it's not the weekend anymore. It's Monday.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny, that roller coaster ride and how we invest
Do you know what?
in
I
those
really quite
ideas?
like how we're kind of off that ride. I mean, we do get it a little bit. I mean,
Thursday night. It feels like Friday night to me.
Yes.
And I say, then
Oh, it's a weekend, you say.
It's a weekend, baby. And I think to myself, how stupid is that? This is completely made up.
But I mean, it's not like when we both had like normal jobs.
I've never had a normal job. I don't know.
Well, I
what
have.
You're talking about.
I've had normal jobs and it sucks.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
So...
Doesn't suck as much as mermaid steak, though.
Yeah.
Look, Olial Seafood Festival returns. I think this is a poor choice of picture for the Olial Seafood Festival.
Well, first of all, she looks like she's going to vomit.
Yes,
she looks
she's
like
not a good advert, is she?
No,
she's not one of those lettuce-eating ladies, is she?
What, that's laughing because lettuce is so funny. No, she's got like this kind of glisten as if she's just about to vomit or has just vomited.
Yes, yeah.
Where her hair's straight, it looks like it's got almost like vomit.
Let's not be too graphic when people are having breakfast. This is a breakfast show. But yeah, it looks to me like they've got mermaid on the menu at the Olial Seafood Festival. No, there should be a law against it. And there probably is.
Yeah.
Much better menus. Not that one. I'll come back to that one in just a moment. We have Dan sent in the menu for Sunday.
Oh, fantastic!
Which we had a chance to influence. So I'm not sure if any of the Gumpers. Yeah. We found out another meaning for the word Gumper yesterday, which we're not at all happy about.
Seriously, what's that?
I can't tell you. You've already talked about vomit. This would take it to another level. And we had a chance to influence this menu. I don't know if anybody did. Oh, when we're zoomed out that far, we can see a dangly wire. I can't have that, can I? I've got to zoom in a little bit more. Or move the camera a little bit. Should I do that?
Yeah, move the camera.
There we go.
There we go.
Better. All right. So Dan said...
Instead now we see a little bit of kombucha on the other side.
Who doesn't like to see a little bit of kombucha?
It looks like a little sample of urine.
There's always something that looks like a sample in this room or kitchen. Because of you. Creamy Cajun pasta Alfredo. What is pasta Alfredo? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Okay, that's prepared two ways.
Sounds like some pasta with Frodo, from Lord
of the Rings. You like al fresco Alfredo? Yeah. Prepared two ways, either with chicken or shrimp, complete with salad. So that's the Cajun pasta Alfredo. The vegan with Sol Finesse fruit salad. We are looking at the Sol Finesse menu, of course.
Again, it's like mermaids. Now we've got vegans on the menu. Not sure I want to eat a vegan.
No, okay. Southern fried catfish and seasoned steak fries. That's more like
that sounds good.
Southern fried chicken. We do love the food over there. Southern fried chicken wings and seasoned steak fries. New Orleans grand chili and cheese hedgehog. No, not really. Hot dog. Hot dog, not hedgehog. And look, strawberry bunt cake. I don't know what that is, but if it's anything like a strawberry cheesecake,
that was good.
Which was lovely, wasn't it? That would be magnificent. I did see in preparation on social media some vast vats of mac and cheese. That's Sol Finense's signature mac and cheese. If you're missing your American comfort food, pop along to Pit Stop in San Martino on Sunday.
Yeah, we did know somebody who baked hedgehog, didn't we? We met up with
Was it Alex? Alex who used to work at Hannah's.
Oh, yes,
wasn't too bad, that hedgehog. You could use the spikes on them to pick the meat out of your teeth afterwards.
Sorry to laugh at that, because I mean I love hedgehogs, really do.
But like well done.
You know, when you've lived in some of the places we've lived in, you know, sort of in the back of beyond, you come across some of the locals and what they, you know, what they do or some of their traditions. And Alex came from a bit of a Romany tradition, and you know they would use what was ever available to them, including wrapping hedgehog in, like a dead hedgehog, in tinfoil and then
roll it up in clay, I think, and then bake it.
That's right, yeah.
And it's a traditional cooking method of the hedgehog. And then when it's baked, you just unfurl it, and then you have a hedgehog steak in front of you, complete with a set of toothpicks.
Oh, sorry, that went.
Glad you mentioned it, aren't you?
Went off on a bit of a tangent.
Joel is on the road again.
Yes, it's welcoming all the people. So who's watching so far?
I'm going to let you do this. I will scroll as though it were an auto cue, because you were experimenting with auto cue, weren't you? How did that go?
Like
being Joe Biden, wasn't it?
Well, it was. No,
except you managed to keep up.
I did manage to keep up, and actually
and you didn't fall down the stairs or anything like that on the way off the
and
stage.
I did manage to read it all, but I couldn't quite get the speed right, and then when I played back the video and I was looking at the it just didn't look very natural.
People criticize auto cue readers. It's not as easy as it looks then, or not as easy as it doesn't look then.
Yeah, it just the way it was set up, it just didn't seem to work for me so much. So anyway, let me give it a go.
Right, okay. Here we go.
Bom dia, campers. Feliz sexta todos. Como vão as coisas?
Not too bad so far. I did like
you deliberately did that straight away.
He was here. It was just as it appeared on the screen. I wasn't trying to set you up, but as it turned out.
Bom dia, James. Feliz sexta.
Yeah, that's from T-Duck this morning.
But I always want to put on a sexy voice. You know how you do your like comboyish Portugal voice for when you read out
Estimados clientes.
Exactly. And I was wanting to do that. I can do my kind of deeper voice in English.
We should call the Gumpers the Estimados clientes, I think.
Yes.
Because that's really lovely in a supermarket.
Esteemed clients.
Yeah, when a new till is opening up, a new aisle.
Boo-boo.
Estimados clientes, caixa dois. Vamos a caixa dois. It's like,
yeah, in Astor's, how do they do it? They don't do it like dear customers.
There's a new aisle opening in about half an hour. Aisle 2, if you're lucky.
Aisle 2.
Aisle 2.
Yeah.
Bon dia, Greg Gumpus from the T-Duck this morning. And here you go. I'm going to ask you, invite
Deep
you.
thought. Okay, get ready to like chill out. Have you got your feet flat on the floor?
I'm deep already.
Take a nice in breath. Whew. We must not allow the clock in the calendar to blind us to the fact that each moment of life is a miracle and mystery.
Were you reaching for the Gumper dust?
Yeah, I hope it's the right one. And that's H.G. Wells.
Very nicely done, Mrs. M.
There you go.
Yep. You don't want to be pushing this button afterwards.
Stop it, you idiot!
Although,
that's a new one.
You could.
Who did that?
That's James. He's like,
really?
He's like a cartoon voiceover, isn't he?
It
could be from those Saturday mornings when you used to watch cartoons back to back. It just sounds like Wile E. Coyote, is it?
Yeah.
No, Wile E. Coyote was mute, wasn't he? But anyway, he's very good.
Stop it, you idiot!
that should
I
be
actually
going
really
on,
like that voice.
should be going on the internet, shouldn't it? And you can send it to people if necessary. Let's make that available on a wider scale. So, but that just goes back to what we were saying about weekends, isn't it? These arbitrary, made-up things that we then become attached to, like days, Monday, Magic Mondays, or Manic Mondays,
Wednesday,
Thank
Hump
God
Day.
It's Friday. But it is Feel Good Friday because it is. That's all, and not because it's any better.
No, it's because we decided it is.
We're excited, aren't we? It's climax of the week, and who doesn't like a climax of the week first thing in the morning? There you go. H.G. Wells rendered his works convincing by instilling commonplace detail alongside a single extraordinary assumption. This was known as Wells's law. Do you
Now,
know
what
that
I would
means?
like, I would like an example of that.
Or an explanation of what it
Yeah.
actually means. Yeah, okay.
I realised as I said that, I was almost a bit like Joe Brand. It's a bit like, come on then, give me the...
Yeah, it's all very well saying
Yeah,
that.
give me the goods.
Yeah, okay. So could we have an example, please, of the instilling of commonplace detail alongside a single extraordinary assumption? I'm liking the sound of that.
Because that does sound, it does sound very feasible, but it's almost like delivered as it's a fact. I actually want the goods. I want to.
Could it be something like he wore a simple flat cap as he stood next to his time machine? Is that a Wells's law example?
That's not a law, is it? That's just a statement. I mean, anyone could.
The law would be that he kept doing that. It was the law of his literature, I think.
Let's move on to the next thing.
Sorry. Okay.
Because I'm sure people will start coming in with some examples.
Okay, this connects nicely with, or part of it does, with our efforts to shape up, which I've noticed not many people are joining me in this, but I'm going to carry on anyway, and we'll talk a little bit more about that because we have got Coach Turner joining us from the racetrack at Le Mans. We've had quite a few Gumpers on tour this week, including John, who's just told us he's on his way to Copenhagen, and we've got Coach Turner in Le Mans in France. What's going on in France at the moment? I hope you're safe and well.
There,
yeah, absolutely. Good heavens, it's a war zone in parts of France at the moment. Anyway, back in Portugal, so many Portuguese enjoy cultural activities, indulging their appreciation of art, music, drama, and dance. Lisbon, Porto, Guimarães are all designated European capitals of culture. That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Portugal has a rich tradition folklore, ranchos folclóricos.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Folclóricos.
Yeah.
So it's
bless you.
With great regional variety, most cities and towns have a museum and a collection of ancient monuments and buildings.
Don't they just? In larger cities, visits to the theatre, concerts or galleries are popular. Portugal hosts international scale venues in Lisboa and Porto, and also many acclaimed artists from various disciplines and international artists as well. We've got an incredible amount of artists coming from all over the world.
Russell Howard coming soon?
Russell Howard. I'd love to do an interview with him. Paul Heaton was in Portugal back in 1983. I think.
Might need to explain who Paul Heaton is.
He's the lead singer of the House Martins and Beautiful South, later of Beautiful South, and a solo artist as well in his own right.
Yeah, so there's many acclaimed artists from various disciplines performing traditional dance and song. Most locations have venues to see and buy local arts and crafts.
You're such a pro. You just picked up the last sentence of the earlier comment. You're very good at this, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
Do it more often.
Yeah.
The importance of the arts is illustrated by the fact on the death of Amália Rodrigues, the Queen of Fado, in October 1999, 3 days of national mourning was declared. That's incredible, isn't it? The Queen of Fado, Amália. Wow. She is such a glamorous, legendary figure here in Portugal. Find out more about her, actually. I think I've got a section on her at learnaboutportugal.com. Anyway, back to you.
In 1998, José Saramago.
Not Mr. Saramanga from Bond with the three nipples. Although I don't know. What? Do you not remember that from Bond? He had three nipples.
Well, how does that make him a baddie?
Like our friend Dr. John.
How does that make him a baddie?
I don't know. It's just unnerving, isn't it? When a baddie takes their shirt off and you don't know where to look.
Yeah. One of Portugal's well-known writers was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature.
Big up. That's it.
That is 66.
That is a case of beauty today. Big up then to Portugal, punching way above its weight in all areas of art, dance, literature, music, and so on. Fantastic.
And in fact, we were talking to that lovely young musician at the CAF the other day, weren't we?
Yeah. T-Duck said, I saw you on YouTube. Amazing. Which he rather likes. Yeah, go on. Sorry, I interrupted you.
He's applying for the Eurovision.
Well, it's called, the early stages, the national leg of it is called, I think, the Festival de Canción, the song festival. And he is going in for that with 3 other pals. So our mate FEMA, and we're going to support his campaign to win that. Let's have the Gumpers and the Portugal Immigrant Network get behind him.
Yeah.
And we could go with him all the way to Eurovision, wherever that's going to be this year. I don't know where the final is going to be staged for next year, actually, 2024. Look at that, a bit of a gentle breeze, proving it's not a green screen behind us there. Okay, we've got dad jokes to star up and save for later.
Dogs have snuck in. I thought, what's that smell?
It's just old Peggy here. It's not me. Don't worry.
Old Peggy.
Okay, so let's say hello to everyone who's here. Owen's in as well.
Yay.
James Raldenaut, of course. Who else is here this morning? Dougie, you're in as well.
Bob's in
as well too right now with a bon dia. With you on the shape up, Carl. Bon dia. I'm with you on the shape up. Oh, that's great. Okay, just finished the Wim Hof breathing. Do you say Wim or Vim, Bob? Now for the cold shower, inspired by the river swim this week. Fantastic. That's quite enough of that behavior, Jimmy Choo. Okay, thank you, Bob, for standing side by side with me. Let's talk a little bit about this Shape Up week, because we're both getting involved in this, aren't we, Mrs. M? How has it been for you for this first week?
It's been great watching you walk around naked.
That's part of it, and part of it that has been shared and not shared on the screen and spared. Okay,
so I'm all for that. I love it. You know, I've enjoyed seeing your naked chest.
I've just decided to be a bit prouder of my body. I don't think I'm too much of a body shamer, but an early child experience made me a little bit self-conscious, and this is how these things get.
Oh. You might actually help. You might
really isn't a big deal.
But I mean, that's the funny thing, isn't it? That these things that aren't really a big deal really do,
it made a lasting impact. That's
make an impact.
Yeah, that's right.
You might help other people.
Okay, I was just very briefly then, as a lad of around 10, I think, when I used to go and stay with my Auntie Dorothy and Uncle Raymond in the countryside. We used to, it was idyllic. We would play football or cricket on the village green all day long until the sun went down, and we were called in, and I was fed and spoiled. And I was fed so much that I got the nickname Pillsbury the Doughboy.
Oh, is that?
They used to call me Pillsbury. And Americans will know this, won't they? Pillsbury the Doughboy is a little character that is an animated character.
Like the Michelin.
You know, the dough that used to come in a canister? You know, or like the masa that we buy that is pre-made. It was a product of pre-made pastry. I do look very little compared to you. This shape up's working, isn't it? Maybe my head has shrunk in real life. So I was called Pillsbury the Dough. Everyone's got to have a nickname, haven't they? And in British culture, some nicknames can be pretty savage. But the icing on the cake of this humiliation of being a bit of a tubby kid, you know, the proverbial fat kid who I was, you know, when I was around 10, was I had my shirt off one day on a sweltering village green, and some wise guy kid said, "Oh, he's got tits." You can imagine, can't you, in a group of it really is like.
I didn't know that part of that story.
Did you not?
No.
Okay. Well, you know, and these things inform your life, don't they? They can do, as well as the time when I was laughed at for dancing. So that was I was with some older relatives who laughed at my dancing style when I was a bit older than that. And these, you know, it sounds so pathetic, doesn't it? These little things that bug you as a kid and humiliate you in certain situations, but it does hardwire you, doesn't it? It's our survival instinct, isn't it, to be wary and think about these old experiences so that they don't get repeated. And in that way, they make you very anchored or attached to that particular moment or that experience or body image or whatever, or behavior. So that's been the backstory. And I think I've dealt with it pretty well, but it stopped me. I think one of my strategies for it was like, well, I don't really care. I'm not bothered about bodybuilding or anything. I'm quite happy with my shape. I'm not going to show off what to do. And now I do feel like showing off. I have been put off from this much showing off, and I've been told that to look like that. And Bob thinks it's a photoshopped picture anyway. Yeah,
I think it's photoshopped as well.
To look like that, I'm going to have to spend like 3 hours in the gym every day for the next 6 months. So that's not going to happen. But I think I am going to get a little bit more shape in my torso, more than I've ever had in my whole life. And I'm so excited about it, actually.
Well, do you know what? When I look at that picture of RFK Jr., I mean, yeah, it looks great. But as a kid, I actually had a phobia of muscly men.
Yes,
because I think it was from watching the Dukes of Hazzard early on, and I had a phobia of really blonde men as well.
Blonde, muscly men who would have been the dreamboat guy for some people.
Exactly. Yeah. But it was a massive turn off for me. I always just preferred sort of almost effeminate looking guys,
with boobs like me,
who were slightly darker. But there was something like as a small child, seeing those guys be so masculine and muscly and suntanned and all that.
Yeah. It overwhelming.
It was overwhelming for me as a child. And I grew up really disliking anyone that was kind of, you know, like dripping in.
Well, the funny thing is, we do get carried away with these looks, don't we? Assuming that the gender we're trying to attract will like them. And it's not always the case, as you're pointing out there.
Yeah.
And I think the same is true of what some of the things women do. Not all men find attractive. Whilst women are thinking, I'm making myself very attractive. It's not always the case, is it, for all fellas? Oh, we got Miguel Santos here as well. Miguel Angelo Santos. Good morning to you. Bom dia para todos desde a pequena ilha de Jersey in the Channel Islands. We've been there, haven't we? Shout out to Jersey, where of course you can get a great pastel de nata
and seafood.
Not too many great seafood. Yeah, we had a lovely time there. So shout out to our friend Rosie over there, listening to the show live through the car radio. Look at the things you can do these days. Hello, John. Hello, Pam. Hello, Pat. In the car there. Hope you're having a lovely time.
Oh, is that Pam's sisters?
Pam and Pat. Yeah, the twins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, hello there.
I saw a photo of you both, and I could tell who you were, Pam, but boy, are you similar. I hope you're having a lovely time.
Yeah, absolutely. So lots of love to you, Pat. Lovely to meet you. Muito prazer. I hope you're having a great time with your
European
tour.
Yeah, hope we get to meet you. That'd be nice.
Yeah, Borada, Gary Mills, Neshqueld, Igaimre. I don't know what that means, but Borada. Oh,
I don't even suppose you pronounce it right either, but...
Oh, really? Well, you have a go then with your best Welsh.
No, I wouldn't do that because I would...
Borada, I think, is I've managed.
Okay.
It was the other bits that weren't so good. And Gary Mills is here. Have we met before? Borada bon dia from Abergavenny in Welsh Wales there. Good morning to you. And Hedgehog Chris made in Wales.
Seriously,
yeah,
Daddy?
Not with real hedgehog. I don't suppose, but who knows?
No, I don't remember those.
Yum, hedgehog.
Oh, no. I didn't realise when I was talking about...
Unless he's saying that about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Now, the thing about that...
For the Joie de Nort party travelling, we've got a picture of RFK Jr. Like with his naked buff torso on the screen. That's why we're talking about him.
And you might be glad that you can't see this next picture I'm putting up, because I'm not going to make it. Don't think I'm going to be as buff as Robert Kennedy Jr.
Come on, show us what you're going to show.
But I'm hoping to stay away from that. That's what I'm trying to avoid. The guys in the bottom, and that's what I mean about how the extremes people go to or not to make themselves look good, and it's not necessarily.
Well, actually, I would also have not liked those men either, because it was that kind of like cheesy tan. Like with
cheesy
the
tan. That sounds like another flavor of crisps.
Yeah, it does. Like with that
tan flavor.
I mean, you can see the oil on their
torsos,
yeah,
their bellies,
and actually with
they look like they're marinating
with their slightly swollen bellies, and it actually reminds me of the texture of the skin that
roast chicken.
Yes, although I like to eat roast chicken.
Another flavour.
But no, with the Dukes of Hazzard thing, it was I always felt like there was this kind of bulging, this kind of, I don't know, something about those.
It's threatening, an underlying threat of bulging.
The pictures of those men with their kind of bulges, their tanned bulges and oily.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel like, ugh. Like
just a good old boys. Roscoe Pico Train. I bet he looked like that, all buff underneath his police uniform. And those ladies, I mean, I don't know. Who am I to say what shape other people's bodies should be? But talking of roast chicken, good chicken dinner wouldn't go amiss with some of those young ladies. And be like you want and be healthy mainly. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean that's
I do. It's slightly sad when girls, do want to get into like what look like painfully thin shapes.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be the guy who's telling.
Do you know what it might be actually? That I find just difficult and have done
despicable.
Since I was young, it might just be lots of naked flesh.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it is actually, because I only really like naked flesh around me when. It's someone you love. It's the person that I love. Yeah. So maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, and hence the reason why some shops do say, "Please wear clothes when you come in."
Yeah,
because some people really don't. I guess it's a bit like you can't see your own face, can you, when you're walking about? But other people can, well and truly.
Yeah.
And when you get used to walking about with hardly anything on, you get used to that. And it's different how other people see you to how you see yourself, isn't it? And that's why sometimes you are asked to put a shirt on, especially the ladies, I think, because it causes too much of a stir in the supermarket. And men as well, putting on shoes and shirts. It's polite to do so, isn't it? Putting on, or am I just being too prim and proper?
No, I'm thinking maybe I'm a bit too prim and proper, because I just really don't like being around naked flesh.
Fair enough.
Unless it's someone I'm intimate with. And is that because I'm just stirred up I don't know.
Oh,
Who knows?
well, James is a psychotherapist or has a psychotherapeutic background anyway. You could look into that. Oven roasted round men.
I think I'd rather just like work it out with you in the bedroom.
Well, that's what we're doing. We are working it out.
So yes, to answer like the whole thing,
yes.
What's been happening this week is Carl's been like walking around more naked, and I've enjoyed it.
But I haven't just been doing that as my routine, have I? I've been in the sea 2 days running. I've run up the dune. I ran up the sand dune yesterday. This is the background, of course. That's what makes it quite difficult in Portugal. It's that's
a very good map, isn't it? With all the food on it.
Yeah, really liking that. And of course, this idea of the Portugal 15.
Yeah, more like 15 stone.
15. Yeah,
like
kilos.
How long did it take for you to get to 15 stone?
Yeah,
it should be
probably a couple of days for some people arriving here in Portugal with all the goodies. So we're here to support you with the God Squad tips of the day, and also, of course, the program itself, which we'll play another installment from at the end of the show, along with events. Thank you, Andy, for your events. Mainly up in the Bairrada region. No one has beat him yet in terms of submitting events to the Gumper map. Record sea temperatures, lovely in the water yesterday in San Martino de Porto, with 3 families worth of kids in the water yesterday. They had a fantastic time. It was real great classic childhood stuff in the water yesterday, battling the waves, the kids thinking they could beat the waves, but they never can, King Canute style. Record sea temperatures both in UK and elsewhere, including Portugal, possibly responsible for the Asian seaweed along the Algarve. And we've got a bit of footage of what's
specific about the Asian seaweed?
It's growing. Apparently, this is something that Doug videographed for us some time ago. And it's becoming a bit of a problem in the Algarve, the Asian seaweed.
It's becoming a pest.
And it's becoming a pest. These sort of race-based names, isn't it interesting, of certain things? In this case, some floating flora here, which I'll bring you in just a moment. This is what Doug saw a little while ago, and it's become more of a problem since he first reported on it. But we are so ahead of the curve here. With bringing this to you some time ago.
I don't know whether you can actually see this, but look at that water. It's actually pitch black. All that bay there, the water's black. But if you look like a bit further along over here, it's nice and clear. Where they're swimming and where the boats are, the water's clear there. It's only in this like cove here where it's pitch black and it's down to algae apparently.
Asian seaweed. Now I'm thinking that should just be roasted in the oven with a bit of sugar on.
Yeah,
like you get at the beginning of a Chinese a meal. I think. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I would imagine that, like, when he was recording that, those people on the beach were thinking, "Oh, we got peeping Tom. Someone's trying to video us."
Do you mind? No, I'm just filming for the Good Morning Portugal show. Don't say that, Doug. For heaven's sake. I ran up Digby's sand dune. I didn't run. I had to stop.
Yeah,
but I did go up there. Bob.
And I have to say, about 4 months ago, I crawled up it. I started up at quite a pace, and when I was halfway up it, I started to crawl, and then I was almost lying up it, pulling myself up as if I was like rock climbing.
Yes, it's
very difficult. You have to do it with your down, Bob.
I'm up for that. Literally. So Sarah's here as well, and it's time to welcome the coach. He is looking very relaxed, isn't he?
Suze gave us quite an interesting comment.
Okay, hold on just a minute, Coach T. Oh, I haven't deleted that. Oh, Suze, there you go.
There we go. Way back, I had a hard body boyfriend.
Nice body boyfriend. Yeah. What's one of those? Like
somebody who's like ripped.
Okay.
Yeah, nice to look at, but not a cozy cuddler.
There you go. I think yes, I have been on a date with a woman. Anyway, no,
what, a cozy cuddler or a hard-bodied?
Yeah. I shouldn't have blurted it out quite so quickly or loudly. I now realise.
But you didn't enjoy it, did you?
No, I didn't.
No.
I do like the results of chicken dinners. If I can. Is Coach Turner moving? He is, isn't he?
Oh, he's wow! Quick, let's get him on.
Let's give him.
Is he in a golf cart or something, or is he actually? Is he in Le Mans? Is he actually racing?
Morning. Check it out. Morning.
Wow, you're looking really cool.
How are you?
looking very Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Well, it's the sun's out, so it's rather lovely.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're just in a very long queue to get into Le Mans circuit.
Oh, that's normal, isn't it? At a racetrack or a festival.
It is. Yeah. If you come early, I forgot. I should have come at lunchtime.
How far have you got to go?
And then come in. Small.
Yes, the French way.
We'll do that tomorrow.
Are the French people still having a 2-hour lunch, Ian? Is that happening?
Oh, well, yeah, no, probably 3.
Excellent. I'm so glad to hear it that some traditions are being upheld. So,
Ian, sorry to interrupt. What is taking you to Le Mans at the moment? Are you at some kind of international do?
Yeah, this is called the Le Mans Classic. So it's normally 2 or 3 weeks after the 24-hour race, which is all the modern stuff.
Yeah.
But this is for old cars, for old people like me.
Okay. So are you actually racing?
No. We're just coming along to look at old cars.
Fab.
But there are cars racing, and they have eight different categories of cars by age, and each category races 2 races over the next 24 hours. So it's a celebration of the 24-hour race from the early days. And this year it's the centenary of the first ever Le Mans race.
How amazing.
So it's quite a big deal, really.
May I ask, if you're not involved in the race, what's that lanyard doing on your neck? Are you working for British Gas or something?
That's my ticket to get in.
Ah, okay.
It does work.
It makes you look like you're backstage or something.
Well, it's all
selling insurance.
But if you don't have one of these, you don't get in. So
I would believe that in any circumstance. As Mrs. M said there, you could knock on homes, on doors back in the UK and say, I've come to inspect your boiler, and people will let you in.
Yeah. Especially if you've got a little card with a picture on it. Doesn't matter if it's just
that's right. It's like, have a lot of fun when you get home, especially if it's in French. No one's going to be able to read it.
Yeah, exactly that.
Have you really driven through France in a convertible?
Yeah.
Oh,
we've had a two-day drive down. We stopped. We came over on Wednesday and through the tunnel. Stopped at a little town called La Bouille, which is on the south bank of the Seine, which is rather pretty.
Yeah.
I sent you a picture, I think.
You did,
that sort of painting picture.
Yeah.
And then yesterday we drove down the old roads as opposed to the auto routes, and caught up with an old college friend of mine who lives, I guess, about 40 kilometers from here. And we're meeting him this morning, hopefully. He's coming in on his motorbike. He's got about 30 of them. He's a bit mad.
You sound like you're having a lot of fun.
Oh, it is. And the place we're staying, which is a sort of gîte complex, there's a whole bunch of like-minded idiots like us, including the guy who runs the company that looks after this car. So that was quite useful.
Well, tell us.
Not that he'll give me a discount.
He might now. Let's advertise him and see if we can get you a discount. So what is it you're actually driving to there?
So this is a Porsche 968 Cabrio.
What?
Wow.
It's a nice thing.
Is this actually your car?
Yeah. I bought
How many
it
cars have you got?
4 years ago, I think.
How lovely.
Wow.
But it's actually the cheapest of our cars at home, and we haven't got flash cars, so it's not an expensive thing, though it costs a little bit to keep on the road.
Yeah.
When I was 19, a mate of mine had a 2CV that we drove to the south of France in, and I thought that was pretty cool because it had those, those flip-up windows that if you go over some cobblestones, the window falls shut onto your elbow while you're trying to be cool there, smoking your ghoul while hanging out of a 2CV. But you win there with your convertible Porsche. That sounds like a lot of fun. That's the image that you captured the other day, and it does look like a painting, doesn't it? There on the Seine. And you had heavy sort of shipping as well going down the Seine. It's a big river, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some barges. I say barges. They've got about 60 or 80 containers on them. but that particular ship was the biggest one I'd seen, and it was huge, and you just don't realise that the Seine is that much of an artery for goods in France. It's astonishing. Because we forget, with in the UK, the Thames used to be that, but it's not really anymore, except I suppose up the estuary a little bit. But it was a huge thing. Don't know what it was carrying, but so I thought it was just an interesting picture.
And we're in the background now, Coach. We can hear the roar, the whine of high performance vehicles, can we not?
Yeah, so we're quite close to what's known as the Mulsanne Strait now. Okay. That's the big long strait that the hypercars from the really quick stuff does over 200 miles an hour down.
Really?
And that's what you can hear. They're coming round the last curve before they hit the straight, and then they just bury it.
Put the pedal to the metal. Wow. So this is the buzz and the excitement then, isn't it? Hearing the sound. You've been slowed down as you're trying to get into the racetrack. People are there in the queue with you. The sun is shining. The top is down. There's a slight French Avenue feel, and you can hear the distant sound of high performance vehicles. That's the buzz, isn't it? For you?
Well, for petrol heads, it is.
Petrol heads, it is. Yeah, absolutely.
As I've described it to several people, it's a bit of a sausage fest.
I'd be very wary about describing it like that.
Definitely, especially if there's a cheesy tan going on as well.
You might get more attention than you're bargaining for.
Be careful that somebody from Just Stop Oil isn't going to throw some orange powder over you at any minute.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I was going to say the Stop Oil people would probably have some validity at a place like this.
That's true. You can hand yourselves in, right? Just Stop Oil today. Well, I need to thank you. We have resurrected, or we're reviewing and replaying the God Squad program, the Growing Old Disgracefully, the Gentle Fitness Tips for Bon Viveurs, and we're through past the introduction and the basic principles, and we're into the benefits of walking today, which we'll play later on. So thanks for all you've done on that, Coach T, and your continued service with your daily tips. What are your reflections this week? I mean, I think I've been doing pretty well. I've been just more mindful about it, as James was saying on Monday. I've been in the sea a couple of times. I'm going out with the dogs as usual. I've run up the sand dune yesterday, being careful about what I'm eating. That's a lot of it, isn't it? Is the positive attitude towards it?
I think so. But, balancing that with enjoying yourself. And drinking, having a nice drink, as we've been doing out here. Just getting that balance and not worrying about it too much. Otherwise, you end up stressing. Right. That's equally damaging.
Yes.
So,
you're right. You're right. I was sent a diet plan with all the things I should buy, and I must admit, it was a bit of a heart sink moment that I would have to be shopping so carefully and eating things I don't normally eat. I'm thinking I'll just cut down a little bit and modify a little bit. So I think that's a really good call. Once it starts to not be fun, that's when your motivation can drop quite seriously, I think.
Totally. You've got to enjoy what you do, otherwise you won't do it.
Yeah.
Yes. For me, I enjoy my training that I do, which is a bit bizarre because it's sprint training, which for old buggers can be quite a challenge at times. I just enjoy it. It just gives me a buzz. So find something that gives you a buzz. And I think that was my point. Was it yesterday? I didn't do a tip this morning. It was a bit. No,
you're busy. No, you're forgiven this morning. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that was my point yesterday. Is find something you really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Find a hobby. My mate Peter, who's sitting next to me.
Morning, Peter.
Hello, Peter.
Hello. Gardening is one of his joys, and it does keep you healthy.
The green gym
I'm
is
probably
perfect.
going to have to call off now because
fair enough.
Can we see
the cars
Peter?
are getting noisy.
It's all getting noisy there, so we better let you go. I'm just wondering though what Peter must have thought. He said, "Excuse me a minute, Peter. I've just got to phone into a live stream in Portugal. I mean, it's glamorous enough already, isn't it? In your open top car, and then I've just got to just be on a live stream in Portugal for a moment. Bear with.
Exactly. We did that.
So, Coach, have a great day. What did you
enjoy
call
your
it?
weekend.
Old people with old cars.
He
It's a lot
described
more
it as
glamorous.
a sausage fest.
Sausage fest. Old guys, old cars. It sounds much more glamorous than that to me. Have a great day, Coach
Enjoy
Turner
your
and
sausage
Peter.
fest.
Good to meet you, Peter. Have a good one.
See you soon,
Cheers,
guys.
Coach.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye-bye. Good call that on the gardening.
Yeah,
that is a
gym.
good activity.
That's
I
my
think,
kind
isn't
of gym.
It can be very strenuous at times. You will see the racing snake figure of Jason Hall from Quintessencial, who's now open. The shop's open, I believe, and he's going to be checking in with us at about 9:30 this morning, Mrs. M.
Very cool.
Okay, we've got a few other things to discuss here, including we haven't even done the about Portugal quiz of the day.
Go on then, let's start that.
So I would love you to read this for me.
Have you like done it in really small print or
and
something?
in Portuguese,
to try to...
I've done it in Russian for you today. So I think we need this on. Oh, it will be small print because I've just seen Pete's comment. Well. Isn't it great? Who doesn't like to tune into a live stream first thing in the morning to hear the phrase sausage fest
from my lips?
Morning, Pete. And it was not our words even. That's what. What did he actually mean by that, Mrs. M?
Wow,
a lot of fellas there.
Yeah, I think that's what he means. Either that, or he's going to just eat loads of sausage, which could also happen. But that's more likely.
France.
That's more likely to happen if he was in the Alsace region.
He can have sausage with a garlicky twang, can't he? He can have a Toulouse
garlicky sausage fest.
Yeah, even worse. Okay,
but it also sounds like it could be a bit of a weekender for fellas.
Yeah. Okay.
Meeting up.
Yeah. Men
playing with their sausages.
Groups of men congregating around cars.
Whilst playing with their sausages.
Yikes! Turn back. Right. Okay. The Learn About Portugal quiz.
Okay. Back
Friday
to
the 30th.
I can see that. So okay.
Can you see that picture of the morphing of DiCaprio and Nicholson?
Yeah, that's really scary, and it also looks a bit like Christian Slater.
It does, doesn't it? Yes,
yeah,
well said. Okay,
it's
go on then.
Okay, which Portuguese town boasts this extraordinary roll call or maybe rap sheet of supernatural phenomena? Phenomena. Okay. Phenomena.
You can't stop doing that, can you? Once you get started.
That's so annoying. Okay, so here's a whole list on their rap sheet.
Read the question.
Yeah. Which Portuguese town boasts this extraordinary roll call or maybe rap sheet of supernatural phenomenon? Shut up. Okay. And I fell for it. I just walked straight into it. Okay, so here's the rap sheet of supernatural phenomenon.
Things. Quizzes.
Yeah. Quizzes supernatural. A cabbage that produces green carnations.
Ta-da.
An ear of corn with 20 cobs. There's normally 4 or 5.
Yeah.
A tree with 3 different kinds of fruit. Well, you can do that. You can graft them.
That?
You can graft different varieties.
Yeah, I think this happened naturally. In
okay.
This Portuguese town.
A white blackbird.
Mm-hmm.
A cabbage 4 meters high.
Yeah.
A ram with 4 horns.
A Galician cabbage.
You might like if you've come over. In fact, I'll talk about the Galician ones in a sec. But a cabbage that's 4 meters high. A ram with 4 horns.
Yeah. Look at this. Douglas Hughes is typing a comment as you read it. That's fantastic.
A phenomenal turnip, a watermelon, lemon, and fava bead pod. All of abnormal dimensions. Let's hope the sausage fest doesn't go there.
There's no big sausage as far as I'm aware.
So the green bean measured 50 centimeters when normally it's around 15 centimeters.
Whoa.
A giant pumpkin. We got one of those in the garden. A chicken egg that looked like an ostrich's. A chick with 3 legs. And finally, a giant cactus the height of a 2-story house.
Where is this place?
Please make your best guess and maybe a plan to avoid the place depending on your openness to the weird and wonderful in the comments. Now, there's no mention of like a bearded lady or, mind you, they're not that uncommon now, are they?
It's not, yeah, right.
So, I actually know the answer.
But pretending not to. That's okay. Please make your guess.
Let us know what you think it is.
Yep. Okay. Man. He's doing it as well. Pete's joining in. What an amazing Muppet moment. 6 months of school.
And everyone humming it.
Oh, yes. Is that what happened every time you said phenomenal as a teacher? Oh, tell us more of those moments, please. Who's that humming? Stop it! Shut up, you idiot! Oh, my goodness. Humming at school.
At one of the teams I work with at JP Morgan Chase, each month when we had like a monthly team meeting, there was a picture of the Muppets on the front page.
Oh, I missed the Muppets. Although they've never really gone away, have they? Never really gone. And we had a Sesame Street dad joke yesterday.
Did we? What was it?
I think I'm not calling myself a genius, but I got 3 questions in a row correct on Sesame Street this morning.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Yeah. So good morning, Pete. Good morning, Sarah, who joined us. Susie's in, James as well. We've got Miguel.
We haven't got that many comments today. Where is it?
I think it's although we're calling it.
Friday
is quieter and more easygoing, I think. And even though some of these folks are retired, they just still have that sort of same phenomenon going on of like, it's time to breathe out. It's the end of the week. Let's just take it easy. Prove us wrong or call in on 913.
That would be nice.
We can take calls as well on 913.
Is your phone charged?
590303. My phone is charged and ready for doing that. 913-590-303. It is on the screen right now. We had a lovely couple of calls from Lord Gilchrist and from Doug yesterday, which was great. And
I had Doug on my show yesterday as well.
Yes, Doug. Doug was getting into the astrology, was he?
Yes, he was.
Typical Sagittarian or whatever he is.
Typical whatever he is.
Yes. That's how good my grasp of astrology is. This lovely picture came in. Carrying on with our...
beautiful.
Well, isn't it just? And this is carrying on with our tips for keeping cool. In the north of Portugal, we have a picture from Bob here. Thank you, Bob, for that.
Where is that, Bob?
I shall tell you right now. Thank you very much, Bob. Then continuing the tour for the folks. I've got to tell you, it is a thing. It is a thing. Entertaining people who are coming over to see you in Portugal, isn't it? And I know someone who's struggled with that quite seriously.
We've got some top tips, haven't we?
Yes, we do. But I've got the tip to end all tips. Have I possibly deleted Bob's comment or thread?
I don't know. I've
with these pictures. I can't see where that is, but it is.
Is it on Facebook?
Casada da Pincho, I believe, and that is Senor Socorro. Oh no, that's the church I think he's talking about. But this is the Casada da Pincho, is what we're looking at there. And on a hot day, that looks like an absolute godsend, doesn't it?
It's 7 kilometers north of Ponta de Lima.
That might be that church though, which I mistook for
okay.
Mini Bon Jesus. It does look like a mini Bon Jesus, doesn't it? When it's big church at the top of the stairway to heaven, kind of, which we'll go to when we're in Braga for our Discovery Weekend.
Okie dokes.
In Braga. So yeah, lovely spot, Bob. Suze is saying about that. Thank you very much. And let's go through a few more of the pictures on the picture deck and have a look at a few things we might talk about this morning, as well as the Portugal news and Portugal resident. It's one of those days in 5 there we go.
Did you miss us?
Yeah, did you miss us? Oh my goodness. All right, let me see if we can. I need to get that off the screen.
Yes.
For starters, don't I? An overlay. Are you being called away, Mrs.
I am. I was going to share the top tip.
Oh, go on, do that. There you go. We're back on the screen. I think any minute now.
So our friends were they had.
You've outed them as well now.
Yes, I have. So I've got to be really careful about how I explain this.
Yeah.
They had a whole deluge of visitors, and it was getting a bit pricey, you know, going out every day, taking them to different restaurants and cafes and places to, you know, like things to do and stuff. And so what they said is, look, while you're staying with us, we'll get all the food and drink inside the house. But every time we go out, it's on you.
Yeah.
That was a top tip for making it a bit more affordable, and also a bit easier, you know, like they really put the emphasis on the guests doing the outside stuff.
And then and the background of this is people come, don't they? And they think they're your only visitor.
Yeah.
And someone else was telling me this week that they had a visitor who expected to be entertained.
Seriously?
Yeah, and they would get up in the morning as if to say, like, where are you taking me today? You know, because they think you're unemployed, not unemployed, but you don't have a job anymore, you're retired, that you're there at their beck and call.
Yeah.
So they've created a website.
Your eyes are streaming.
It was from the earlier past pain I was talking about. Yes,
I'm being called
I
by
think you are, aren't you? So come back and speak to Jason in a little while, Mrs. M, because we've got Jason Quintus in joining us. And I am definitely going to retune this computer. What I need to do, if anyone can help me with this, the tech problem I need to deal with, and you don't need to tell me you've got an Apple device, Pete, because the Apple people don't have this problem, of course. I need to put a spanner in the works for Microsoft and stop my device trying to upgrade, which it doesn't seem to be able to do, and it goes around in this virtual loop. And I think Microsoft is stealing my resources deep in my hard drive and just making my computer perform very poorly. Okay, Sue's lovely spot. Bob says, Sue's to Bob there. Testing 1, 2, 3. We've lost you. We should be back now. And the feeling that you had at that church that I mentioned was much deeper and profound for us than at Barges in Braga. It was quite enlightening. Do love that. Our question today on the Learn About Portugal site is about supernatural Portugal, basically. In which town will you experience those three-legged chickens and massive pumpkins and cactuses as big as a house? A supernatural experience of a different kind for Bob there at Senhor Socorro in the north of Portugal, not far from Ponte Lima, 7 kilometers, I think. Sad to leave. Is that but the dentist appointment has priority. That's not when you're at the church. That's here this morning, I believe. Yes, Pete, I thought you might have something to say about this. The best way to deal with a Microsoft upgrade is to use the bin. I'm beginning to agree with you there, Pete. However, this technology, this live stream technology of StreamYard does like to use Chrome. And Chrome isn't the ideal partner, is it, for an Apple device? We've got Jason getting ready to join us live from the shop. So we're looking forward to talking to Jason, and we're looking forward to actually going to the shop at some point as well and buying some of his lovely produce. And we'll speak to him in just a moment. Let me see what else it was that I wanted to share with you this morning. Do you have this? Because I think there's a special version of this when you're in Portugal. This is when the shop assistant asks you. My images are just not coming to the screen when I click on them at the moment. Maybe it will in just. Oh, there we go. Me when a cashier asks whether I want a receipt. I think there's a special Portuguese version of this when you're new to Portugal and you're being asked if you want to give your NIF number, which you know nothing about at that stage, and fear, basically, when that moment arises. I wanted to mention as well, Paul Heaton of the beautiful South, formerly of the House Martins, on Twitter is detailing his hitchhiking journey of Portugal. Guess when he did that? No, 3. And he is quite the chronicler of that journey. If this image will ever show up on the screen for you, it's really beautiful, and it's being detailed on Twitter, traveling around Portugal, even going as deep as to say which particular makes of vehicles and the types of drivers and the characters he met in Portugal back in 1983. There you go. Look, each hitchhiking leg of the journey detailed 1983, the European hitchhiking trip, 40th anniversary. Are there any seasoned hitchhikers here? that you can see there. Detailed records of all the lifts. Mira Beach, which we love and have been to. That was on the 28th of June, nearly, 40 years ago. Lift 78, Gandra to Oporino, Valongo to Gandra. I think he had an amazing time. And I have sent him a message. Wouldn't it be amazing if we can get Paul Heaton to come and speak to us on the Good Morning Portugal show? I have dropped him a message. We'll see. I'm also going to get in touch with Russell Howard's management because he's doing a gig in Portugal. Do you think Russell Howard will come and talk to us? Any Russell Howard fans? If you're a really big fan of Russell Howard or Paul Heaton, how about you join us on screen that day and join in with the interview team? That actually goes for any other VIP guest that we might be able to secure for the show. If you're a really big fan and you'd like me to do the work in securing that person for an interview, why not come and join me and interview them with me as a super fan? Okay, I'm not sure how this is going to work this morning. We shall give it a go and see, of course, because we're intrepid like that. Let's give him a nice big round of applause. I think he's taking a cover and having a bit of shade inside the shop this morning. It's Jason!
Morning. Morning, guys.
Slowly does it. Come on, technology. I might do another round of applause. It's just a black screen at the moment. I can hear it. There we go. Jason, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you, Carl?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Notwithstanding the Microsoft challenges this morning. Different thing every day. So you are inside the shop, Jason, I think, by the...
Yeah, I'm sat inside the shop at the moment. It's a bit of a bomb site because we're hoping to open the doors to the public on the 8th of July.
Right.
And so it's kind of all hands on the pump at the moment. You'll have to excuse my sleepy face, but we were up till 2 o'clock last night making sauerkraut. And then I have a three-nager who needs to go to school at 9 o'clock in the morning. And so it's been a bit of a short night for me, to be fair. But yeah, we're sort of cracking on with what we need to get done.
Not only lots growing in the ground and harvesting and starting a shop, your 3-year-old has been a little bit demanding as well, by the sound of it.
Well, yeah, you know, she's not growing as fast as the sunflowers, but other than that, she does take quite a bit of care and attention, as I'm sure any parent knows. Hello?
Of course. Of course. So tell us about the shop then. What's going on? When are you going to open? Have you opened already?
We are opening the doors on the 8th and the 9th of July, which is just over a week away. Look, this is my scared face. And so, yeah, we're just kind of getting everything ready. It's kind of starting to look like a shop. Look, we've got counter. I've even got my old school upright balancing scales and a till. And we're just sort of, everything's all oiled and polished and all of the structure is kind of finished. And we're just getting ready to start populating things like fridges. This is a kimchi, work in progress. And we've got some wonderful jalapeno peppers, which are all nicely pickled, and lemon pickles and stuff like that. And so we're just kind of migrating everything from where it has been living and trying to get it into place, ready to label everything up and hopefully provide some decent nourishment for people around the local area.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Superb. And people are wanting to bring their own produce. People are wanting to bring produce to you to sell in the shop as well, right, Jason?
Yeah, we're getting quite a bit of interest in that at the moment, because my neighbours are very interested in bringing me round wine to sample at the moment, because obviously they can see that we have people around here who might produce like 800, 1,000 litres of wine, but don't really have an outlet for it. And so I've seen some amazing Adagas with like thousands of litres of wine in. And so that's been quite nice and quite interesting. It's been another aspect for meeting the local community. And yeah, people, there's some other folk that we know are interested in bringing vegetables and fruit and stuff like that. To be fair, I've got to work through the legalities, because I think legally in Portugal, in order to sell any produce, you are supposed to have a número de horta produtor, which is your production number, which shows that you're registered with the relevant agricultural department. Because we're registered as a family farm, we are automatically we're allowed to sell fruit and vegetables, and so we can sell things like marmelas, which is be like quince jelly. We can sell ferments and things like that. But it's because it's produced and made on the Quinta. And so that also goes for any drinks. So things like elderflower cordials and wines, cider might be a thing. And so what we're trying to do is we're just going to get open, and then if there's a big call for people wanting to put produce in, which we're really keen to do as it goes, then we'll look into how we can get a workaround for people to be able to do that. Ooh. You really are having troubles with
my guess is that you will find a way to do that, Jason, because you've done so much to make this happen.
Well,
we are, but we it's still just good enough to hear you.
Yeah. What I will say is this self-sufficiency lark does take a lot of people. We've done a lot of it by ourselves, but the list of people who have helped out in a myriad of ways is actually becoming quite vast. You know, I mean, I include you guys in that list because getting awareness of what you're doing and getting it out there is possibly one of the most difficult things to do as an independent retailer, businessman. And then I've had so much help with the building work from friends from like the Man Cave group and other people locally that I'm beginning to think that the idea of self-sufficiency is pretty defunct.
Yeah. I suppose another way of reframing it is interdependency, isn't it? Rather than being independent or being self-sufficient. It's like it is recognizing you're part of an ecosystem.
Yeah, very much so. And sort of trying to fit into that as well in some kind of meaningful way is part and parcel of the challenge of getting something like this up and running. When we feel like we've been blessed with all the help that we've had, which means I've got quite a few favours I need to return. I'm not entirely sure that a bottle of wine's going to do it for everybody.
That's all right. I was about to say that you make booze, it's going to be fine.
I suppose. Yeah.
As you say, our connection is difficult this morning. But what we need to know, and as you say, you know, the publicity is important, isn't it? Getting people to know about it, getting people there. Is it going to be you're going to have a big opening, so to speak, on the 8th and 9th of July? And is that when you want people to come and support you?
Yeah, that's when we're going to open initially. And we're going to take the tried and tested approach of I'm going to give people a free glass of wine, exactly that, Squire of the Shires, and we're going to have little samples of our ferments and pickles. We're going to get some nice bread from our local bakery, which is billed as one of the best bakeries in central Portugal. and a few other bits from some local suppliers, and hopefully give people a little taste of what it is that we do here, in the hope that they come back.
Oh, superb. And then after that, I mean, we need to keep talking after that, don't we? Because there is a buzz about a new business and the excitement. But is there a way people can subscribe, for example? Are you going to be doing veg boxes on a regular basis, like a subscription or a membership or something like that? I hope you'll stay with us on the show so that we can let people know on a monthly basis. But what else can people, how else can people get involved on a long-term basis?
To be fair, veg boxes was something that we didn't think that we would do, and then brilliantly sold 2 yesterday. And it seems that a lot of people are asking for that kind of service. At the moment, we're not set up for a subscription service, but I've done the bare bones of a website, which is www.kinta-essential.com. And so there will be the possibility in the future to maybe be able to sign up for veg boxes. Don't know about subscription, because it sort of ties people in, and we're in times at the moment where people might have money now, but because of the uncertainty of what's going on and everything, and I wouldn't want to tie people into having to pay for something, but it might just be that it's almost like a click and collect. And so you order it during the week, and then hopefully, I mean, in my head, everybody would turn up on the same day, and so I can just like hand out the boxes as and when they're being done, sort of thing. But the mainstay of our business is we're going to be open for 3 days a week to start with, which is going to be Wednesday through to Friday. We'll be open from 9 in the morning, close for an hour at lunch at around about 1 o'clock, and then reopen again until 7 in the evening. We've started like this because we stand a better chance of keeping all of our produce nice and fresh. And while we're learning the ropes, it will give us a little bit of leeway with trying to work out how much stock we need and what we can actually sell in that time frame. And it also gives us a scope that if it is successful, we can maybe add more days in. I'm a firm believer in start small, an appropriate level of investment, and then if things are working well,
brilliant, mate.
Always
our connection is very poor. Gotcha. Okay. I'm so sorry. It's been such a difficult connection this morning, but I think others have heard you better than we have here. So I just want to reiterate the 8th and the 9th of July. That's when people can come and visit. And it's going to be a lot of fun when you open that weekend, and we'll keep an eye on your progress month by month when you join us on the show. And we just want to wish you all the best with it. So where are you? That's the other thing. If you could repeat the website address and how to find you on the 8th and 9th, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, so the easiest way to find us is if you go to Facebook and in your search bar, type in Kinta with a capital Q and then a hyphen and Essential with a capital E. That should take you to our Facebook page. And on there in the About section, it will give you our exact address, contact number, everything like that. We've also just updated it with all the hours and everything. And so that in the immediate future, that's the easiest way to get hold of us. But other than that, we're in Villa Fakaya. If you end up in the middle of Villa Fakaya, you can pretty much ask anybody where the English guys who are opening the shop are, and they'll be able to point you in our direction.
Love that. I love that. That's how you've made yourself home in Central Portugal. We've loved seeing this story develop. Not a story, is it? I mean, this reality for you and your dream, all 100%. That was just 30 33.3% of Quintessencial this morning on the screen with us, and a little bit tired this morning. He's got a lot on his plate. Go support Jason on the 8th and 9th, if you will, of July, and we look forward to speaking to you again soon, Jason. I was going to say, hopefully you can get a slightly more restful weekend, but I doubt it.
Oh, we'll see. It's like, I'm hoping that when we go to sort of 9 till 5, that things will settle down a bit, because once the shop and everything's built, at least we've got one less job to do.
Yeah. Okay, well, fingers crossed for that. Bussort, I wish you all the best. Take care, and bye for now. Love to the whole family there.
Thank you, guys. Cheers, Gumpers. Bye now.
All right, mate. Thanks so much. Take care. Take care. Bye for now. Oh, look, and a wave from João F. We've not seen a lot of João F. He's been away and away from the community, but back. So lovely to see you here, João F. That has been a real test for our technology this morning. Isn't it, Mrs. M?
Yeah, because also the internet went down as well at the same time.
What was going on there? I don't know. We've got a few challenges this morning, but I think the gist of it you got, which is that Jason has created something. I mean, he is an extraordinary expat, isn't he? I don't think he'd probably use that phrase, but you know the gist of what I'm saying. You know, there's someone who's really made himself at home in Portugal.
Well, he's showing up, isn't he?
He's showing up in his local community.
He's like tapped into what he's passionate about.
Yeah.
And is making it happen. I mean, there's nothing more magnificent than that, I don't think.
Yeah. And he's doing it fully as well, isn't he? And you know, he's gone to the camera. This is what we want to do, and had to face all the bureaucracy and the costs of getting set up and everything. And he's done it, and there it is, the evidence of it. And you'll be able to taste it. That's the thing. You'll be able to taste his produce, so to speak, on the 8th and 9th of July, when the official opening happens at Quintessencial. That's the name there. Thank you. That's really helpful, Squire of the Shires. I think on Facebook it might be with a C in the Portuguese as well as a T, or instead of a T there. But thank you very much, Squire of the Shires. And we know who you are now as well. So let's see how things hold up for the rest of the show. We've got about 15 minutes or so. Things coming on and off the screen quite slowly this morning. I did have a few other tabs open, and I want to ask you the other tabs open were for the Portuguese news. I did mention to you about Paul Heaton's tour of the House Martins and the beautiful South, more recently of the beautiful South, and hopefully get him on the screen. This is what I was saying, Mrs. M, while you're out of the room. If somebody has a star that they or someone they're particularly keen on from the music world or comedy, Russell Howard, Paul Heaton, they could come and interview them with us from the Good Morning Portugal community. So if you have somebody you're
well connected,
we've just I'll do the work to bring them onto the screen, and we'll see if we can get them on, because I'm thinking they might like the idea of us, you know, having a chat with them, because we're a little bit different, aren't we, here in this niche of Good Morning Portugal? And if you're a fan of a particular artist, you might want to come and join.
Fan of people, like I'm
not a fan of people.
No. I mean, I love people,
but not a fan girl.
I'm not really. You know, I'm interested in everyday people as probably much more than really famous people.
Yes. Okay. Russell Howard, you like that, don't you?
Yeah. I did do some work with somebody who is very well known, mega superstar, and that did make me feel very excited. Everyone watching would absolutely know the name of the person whose granddaughter I worked with, and that gave me a bit of a thrill when I found that out.
Exciting.
Yeah. But no, I'm just, it's not really my client that's just played at Glastonbury, just gone. And every time I saw footage of Glastonbury, I thought, my client's playing there.
Well, give my best to Elton next time you're talking to him. we go back a long way. All right. I don't know if our tech is holding up sufficiently to complete the show this morning, which is a bit embarrassing. I am going to try. Okay, we do seem to be back. And
George Clooney's in Portugal.
Is Andrew saying number of issues this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, and now there's 2 of us on the screen, which could be quite exciting, couldn't it? All right, so yes, Clooney has moved to Portugal. I think he's got a home here rather than necessarily moving wholesale to Portugal. But are you saying, Andrew, that you want to be on the Good Morning Portugal show when we get to George Clooney here and speak to him? Carl, I have got fibre optic.
Yeah.
I've got a long cable that goes from the router through to the office here, and I'm going to check all those connections over the weekend. But it does seem like we are in better shape suddenly. A suggestion for Jason: you should use GPS coordinates so people can find you as well. I think it'll be lovely to have a few gumpers turning up over at Jason's Quinta Esencial on the 8th and 9th there.
Well, wouldn't it be great if they all turned up in time for the show?
It's going to be a weekend. It's going to be a weekend, so we won't be able to do it live there. Jacqueline Branco's in. Now, I'm glad to see you, Jacqueline. Part of my fitness regime is going to include rounders, mixed rounders. There was an invitation, and some other people might like to come along to this the weekend after Jason's shop opens up. I think it's going to be the 17th, possibly 16th or 17th in Caldas at the rugby club. There's going to be a big rounders tournament for charity, raising money, I think, for the MVC over there.
Are you going to be playing in that?
I saw it and I thought, yes, count me in.
Seriously?
So yeah,
I
didn't tell you about this, but with the whole family, we'll be going over to Caldas Rugby Club, and I'll take part. I don't know if it's all ages as well. Do you want to do rounders?
No.
Rounders is such a good and I think underrated game.
15th and 16th.
Okay, I believe it's the 16th. It's a
I'll
Sunday
be watching
afternoon.
the kids.
Late Sunday afternoon. I'm sure it'll be a family event because we're in Portugal here. And if anyone wants to come along to that, Jacqueline, have you got any more details for us for that? If you could put them on the screen, that'll be fantastic. Yeah, I do have fibre optic. Owen just can't take it anymore. Bye, everyone. Gary Mills not happy about it either with all our tech difficulties, I think. And what's this? We've got Pete. It is a beautiful but very windy day over there near Fundão. Just watching the Segona and the Águas Sur catching the thermals from the Gardunha. How lovely. It will be a great day today. There's the prophecy. Jacqueline's going to send us the details of the big Rounders event. Anyone else want to join us? I think you can still join a team. The invitation is there to be part of a team. So I don't know if enough of us are interested. We can put forward a Gumpers team, can't we? You need to perform the IT trick of restarting your tech. A tip would be to restart it first thing in the morning before you go live. I think you did that, didn't you?
Yep.
After your global call this morning. But anyway, we'll have a look. We've got the weekend coming up. It's one of those, talking of week, whether it's the week or the weekend and looking forward to the weekend. It is one of those jobs that will get tackled this weekend.
Definitely.
We'll have a little bit of a tune-up on the processor that deals with the show and check the fiber optic and internet connection. So we might leave it there for today.
Yeah, I think that's
Apart
a good idea.
from, I do need to ask the question.
We
one
do
more
need
time.
to do the dad jokes as well.
And we need to do the dad jokes. So let's do the quiz one more time. See if it will hold up for that. Which I think it is. So it's starting to behave itself again. Thank you if you've stayed with us during that rather awkward part of the show this
flipping heck,
morning.
even I had to leave.
You're so sick of it as well. Okay, so the quiz question, the Learn About Portugal quiz question of the day.
Okay, which Portuguese town boasts this extraordinary roll call or maybe rap sheet of supernatural occurrences? Doesn't work with occurrences, does it? No. A cabbage that produces green carnations, an ear of corn with 20 cobs, normally 4 or 5, a tree with 3 different kinds of fruit, a white blackbird, a cabbage that's 4 meters high, a ram with 4 horns, a phenomenal turnip, a watermelon, a lemon and father bean pod, all of abnormal dimensions, a green bean measuring 50 centimeters when normally they're about 15, a giant pumpkin, a chicken egg that looked like an ostrich's, a chicken with 3 legs, and finally a giant cactus the size of a 2-story house. I don't even remember reading that before.
I think you did. I think you did, yeah.
Come on then.
No, it's part of the supernatural. No, I don't give the answer away.
Can we see some of the answers that are coming in?
Good guess, Gary, is all I'll say so far. And Dougie doesn't know this one. I think he knew yesterday's. Let's go back to yesterday's because I can give the answer to yesterday's quiz, which was, thank you, Mrs. M, for reading that out. Learn About Portugal quiz yesterday, and you can see that picture there, which has a hashtag on it about the legendary chocolate cake you can also eat there. Bola de chocolat. Mais what does it say? Fail. That is the longest hashtag ever, isn't it? Do Vila de Rei. That is the answer for yesterday. The centre, the middle of Portugal, is not Lisbon. It's not Pastéis de Belém HQ. It's not Cristiano Ronaldo himself or Fatima, the Catholic Christian capital of Portugal. It is, of course, a Vila de Rei, and there's a massive obelisk there. It doesn't like a big matriculating obelisk first thing in the morning. So that was yesterday's answer. Pop over to learnaboutportugal.com to take a guess at today's supernatural town in Portugal, and make your guess over there, learnaboutportugal.com. Thank you for being here this morning. As Mrs. M said, we just got a few dad jokes to do. Seth appointments are supernatural. On the Dream Team last night, I had someone say, we're looking forward to our Seth appointment. Isn't that nice? They were helped, of course, by Gilda. Maybe that's part of the reason why they're looking forward to it. As are Finances. Yes, the supernatural occurrences of Finances and Seth as well. Thank you, Pete. Oh, yeah, a few more events to talk about as well. If anyone is in Fundão, there are 2 festas in surrounding villages and a Guns N' Roses AC/DC tribute act on in the town this weekend. Should we play some Def Leppard? I don't like anything first thing in the morning. Well, that's a winner, Tabitha. Where have you been? Lovely to see you. Tabitha Lindeboom, I don't like anything first thing in the morning. That's got to be a mug, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Until I've had my first coffee, I suspect there for Tabitha.
Until I've watched GMP.
Until I've watched GMP. Great to have you back
Until
in the
I've
room,
had a dad
Tabitha.
joke.
Until I've heard a dad joke. So I'm going to hold those dad jokes. We are going to go full term, as it were, on the show this morning, now that things have corrected themselves. All we had to do was be calm and breathe tranquilo and be Portuguese about it. I heard someone say that phrase. I think I might have invented that. Be Portuguese about it.
Maybe.
And the other evening, someone said it. Be Portuguese about it. Oh, yeah. That's nice. Okay. Events then for this weekend. It's all kicking off this morning. Okay, let's go through these events that have been. Oh, a pig on a stick. They're the Festival de Leitão. There's no other way of putting it, really, is there?
No.
At Vimeira this weekend. Thank you very much, Andy, for all of these. Let's just go through these quickly. I love coffee first thing in the morning, says Andy. So a fantastic evening, traditional Leitão banquet, including starters, soup, and a main Leitão suckling pig meal. Traditional song and dance for €18. That's not too bad, is it? Excellent stuff. All of these over on the Gumper map. Activities at Barra and Costa Nova beaches. They are, of course, the famous Candy Stripe beaches and the great big lighthouse at Costa Nova as well. Or is it the other way around? Is it the Barra Lighthouse? Anyway, lots of fun, free activities to watch or participate in on the Aveiro coast. Surfing, paddleboarding, walks, yoga, swimming, marine museum visits, concerts, bird watching, tennis, etc., etc.
I'm trying to work out what that graphic
is
saying.
It's
like Martha C and eat.
Okay, Marat or Mar.
Or it could be Tomar.
That's I don't know what that is either.
It's like
Joao F might be able to help us with that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Nice graphics though.
Yeah.
And look quite nautical, don't they? Look like nautical flags. The Festa Flordia at Oia. This is a fantastic event we've been to many times, says Andy, as well as the parade with floats. Excuse me, bands. The whole town is decorated and the town square is packed with stalls and entertainment. On the 30th, which is tonight, of course, the party returns with a new parade of flowers starting at 7 p.m. this evening in Uia, which is in the Bairrada district. Strippers, ride and lunch. Strippers of motor bicycles. Azenia has a super festival area and locals love a good time and can be seen by this fun day. Any kind of motorbike or moped is welcome, or just come along for the lunch. Why has he said strippers there? Is it for people who are scrapping motorbikes? I'm not sure. But anyway.
Or is it for people that want to ride naked?
I think that was last weekend. €20 for the t-shirt, mug, ride out and lunch, or just the lunch for €12. Beer and bifanas in that Bairrada.
Well, maybe strippers are just to get your attention.
I think it worked. Agi Agada, the great big festa in Agada. Huge month of free events. They know how to put on a party in Agada, don't they? The town of the umbrellas. Fabulous. And the free sunset walk happening on the 1st of July, which is tomorrow evening, I believe.
Do they still do the big old 5-day festival in Anadia, because that was really
that
good
happened.
as well.
Yeah, we advertised that. Yeah, the Vinho Festival. Yeah,
really
Vinho and Vinha. Free sunset walk there at Caminhar do Natureza, also in the Bairranda, Fermenteros, fishing competition and lunch. If you're angling for a reason to visit this magnificent coastline, very good. Catch, fish, and eat the famous Leitão Abarada. What? Fishing for suckling pig. Something has gone wrong there, I think. Maybe it's fishing and suckling pig. Thank you, Andy. Last couple then, free fitness at the Three Freguesias. It sounds like the Three Amigos, doesn't it? The Three Freguesias there. And finally, we have the expat picnic. Actually, that is happening this weekend. I thought that had come and gone, but there's an expat picnic tomorrow in Ilhavo, Aveiro. Come and join this meetup in Aveiro in a great outdoor park alongside the River Boco, close to the splendid Museu de Vista Alegre. Well, now, we talked about that when we were launching Raquel's business course, Start a Business in Portugal. Vista Alegre dates way back, I think, to, possibly the 19th century. Check it out over on our business course. But it was a handful of great Portuguese businesses. Vista Alegre, a porcelain company up there in the Aveiro district. 24 tables altogether. It looks like it's going to be a meet and mingle moment for expats. If you want to meet some expats up there, do so. Tomorrow, the expat picnic, Ilhavo, Aveiro. Where can we see these,
It does say first come, first served.
Yikes.
Because if the weather is nice, there'll be like every man and his dog will be going, won't they?
True. And we do know that expats tend to have dogs. You're quite right.
No, but I mean, like all the Portuguese will be there as well.
Ah, okay.
You know, it's a public. It's a public place. So get there as soon as possible, and maybe pack a couple of foldaway chairs.
You know what? And a tablecloth and a candelabra.
Well, no, do you remember when we went to Owen's birthday barbecue?
Oh, yeah.
That was a really lovely picnic spot.
Yeah.
And when we arrived at, I think, 9:30 or something, there were loads and loads of tables free. Within an hour, everyone had nabbed them.
Yep, true.
So you got to get there early.
Get there early. Yes, because the Portuguese families, of course, will be there. But it's a lovely opportunity to mingle. And that's exactly what Owen did. He was, they were having a bit of a tasting session, weren't they? He brought loads of lovely food along that he'd made. And by the end of it, I think everyone was hanging out together. And he was saying he was here this morning to celebrate his birthday with us because it's happening next weekend. This weekend, I'm celebrating my 56th year. This weekend, buy again. Pastrami in the oven.
But Owen, when is your birthday? It's
4th of July, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think he's on the 4th.
Yeah, I had it as next weekend.
Yeah, okay. A few more comments coming in then before we go to those dad jokes. Thanks, everyone, for bearing with. Everything seems to have righted itself now. Riots in France, who'd have thought it? I think Coach Turner marked safe and well. I've just looked at the news and it looks like Coach Turner is having a riot at his sausage fest. Different events.
Yeah, look, sausage fest of smoky exhaust flavors.
Yes.
And racy spiciness.
And not a burning Lidl, as I sadly saw
really?
in France. Yeah. Are the French ever satisfied? That is such a British comment, Lord Gilchrist. What? The French at it again. Can I fester at the Festa of Uncle Festa, grown for, a couple more coffees, I would suggest, Tabitha. Great to see you here, though. Or are they just being French? It looks particularly eggy over there, I've got to say. But on that note, an earth is an earth, I think, of this rioting. Nice to see everyone on screen watching Louisa's astrological stream yesterday. Wow. It's complicated. What do you have to say about that, Mrs. M?
Yeah,
you and your complicated
you know what, Dougie?
astrology.
I'm about to launch learn how to read a chart course. And so if you are interested, you know, it does look very sort of like technical and complicated. There's a lot to it for sure.
I can't wait.
But what I am going to be teaching are all the step-by-steps, so that if you want to learn how to draw up your chart, and then B, start to piece it together. It's almost like an investigation.
You do have a forensic approach, don't you?
Yeah, I
do.
Yeah, it is like
astronomical forensics.
Yeah, planetary forensic or planetary alchemy. I see it as. So I'm going to start teaching all the basics very, very soon. And if you're fascinated, you can learn about your chart. So I could even use you as an example. In fact, Dougie, I've got one more space on Sunday night show of reading, doing a reading. If you want me to have a look at your chart, just drop me a message in
it could
in
be
Facebook.
a career path twist for Dougie, couldn't it?
Oh, he'd be excellent.
Here we go now with an astrological 2-minute taster.
Yeah, he'd be fantastic. I'd love that.
He's got the voice for it. Okay, Doug, thank you for your interest. And join Mrs. M on Sunday night on the... What? Are you laughing at the joke already? Okay. Yeah. So the dad jokes then. We made it to 10, everybody. Well done. We hung on in there with cable ties, recycled cable ties from the Festas, chewing gum, WD-40, and a bit of duct tape. And yes, talking of ducks, T-Ducks here with those dad jokes for us. By replacing your morning coffee with green tea, you can lose up to 87% of what little joy you still have left in your life. So true. I'm sticking to my tea, but I am just having 1 cup of tea a day now rather than several.
Do you know when people say, I'm only having 1 of something, like, you don't realize how mental that sounds. But like, if someone said to you, I'm only going to have 1 carrot from now on in, everyone would be like,
so what?
What?
Nobody cares.
That guy's got something with carrots. That guy's got a problem with carrots. I always think when people say, I'm just going to do this.
Well, it speaks of addictive behavior.
Yes, it does, definitely.
Yes.
Because if you swap what you're talking about with something really innocuous, like, I'm just going to stick to 1 sheet of toilet paper, people think that guy's got an issue with toilet paper.
That is such a bad example.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm going to reduce my
intake of see, chocolate bars. You can understand why it would be with chocolate bar, but if it's innocuous, like this is the H.G. Wells law, possibly it could be. You might have stumbled upon it there.
There you go.
Might have inadvertently brought the show full circle with that. Ever since I brought my kids to work one day, my boss is way more tolerant of my drinking. And every piece of cake, here we go. It's a shape up tip. And we will go out with that God Squad video as well today. Every piece of cake, every cookie you take, every bite of steak, I'll be watching you. Influenced by Sting and certainly a way of life for dogs, who is now curled up at my feet here, Mrs. M. You love it when the office smells of dog.
I hate it. I really hate it. That's the worst thing about sharing an office with Carl is that it stinks of dog. Ugh.
There's something you didn't want to know. Okay, over to you, Coach T, who is at the Sausage Fest in Le Mans, or Le Mans, as you might pronounce it, having a great time. Men gathering around vehicles at a sausage
whacking
fest.
their sausages around.
I can't believe he even mentioned that. Have a great weekend. Bon fin de semana, folks. And have a great weekend, whatever you're doing. And we'll see you on Monday morning with Tales from the Weekend. And, of course, a bit of Mindful Monday reflection as well. Mindful Migration Monday reflection. Cheers, Mrs. M.
Cheers, Mr. M.
Bye.
As promised, we're going to be looking at walking. And walking's something pretty much anybody can do. It can be very easy, or it can progress to being really quite difficult, especially when you've got hills or mountains involved. It's something you can build into your daily routine, whether that's walking down the road for a coffee or lunch, walking the dogs, and that's for you, Carl, and building up progressively how much you do. So you can start just by doing a minute or two if that's the level of fitness that you're at. If you do 5 minutes walking, add a minute every day. Within 5 days, you'll be doing twice as much. Within another 10 days, you'll be doing 4 times as much. So it's a really simple form of exercise that's very low impact, providing you walk in a reasonable way, will keep you healthy. And when you can walk through woods like this, and this is actually at our athletics centre, but there's a trail you can walk through or run through, most people do. It makes you feel really good. So we can progress steadily to improve your fitness.